rendering them nearly invisible. A scanner, interfacing with the vault's security system. The mountain was alive with hidden defenses, alarm systems, motion detectors, and weapon stations designed to keep invaders at bay. But Rex's expertise was unparalleled, and within minutes, the vault's outer security grid went dark, leaving the path open for their advance. Eric's voice crackled through their earpieces. "Rex, you've done your job. Talon, Varn, you're up." With swift precision, Talon planted a set of explosives at the vault's reinforced door. Varn, his massive frame towering over the others, stood ready, his hands gripping a heavy pulse cannon that hummed with energy. The countdown began, and with a deafening roar, the explosives detonated, sending a wave of debris into the air. The vault's door crumpled under the force of the blast, revealing the darkness within. "Move in," Eric's commanded. The squad filed into the vault, their weapons raised, scanning the surroundings for threats. The interior of the vault was massive, a vast labyrinth of steel corridors and ancient chambers. The walls were lined with symbols and writing from a time long forgotten. The air smelled stale, as if the facility had been sealed off for centuries. "Stay alert," Eric's ordered, his voice echoing in the emptiness. The vault was built to contain something or someone. "We're not alone in here." Their footsteps echoed as they advanced deeper into the facility. The atmosphere was thick with tension, each member of the squad on high alert, aware that any misstep could trigger a catastrophic response. They reached the central chamber, where the true prize awaited them. In the heart of the vault stood a large containment unit, a massive structure that hummed with an unnatural energy. Its walls were etched with symbols older than any human civilization, and its surface seemed to pulse with an eerie light. "This is it," Rex muttered, his voice tinged with awe. "This is what we came for." Eric stepped forward, studying the containment unit. The readings on his scanner indicated that whatever lay within was of immense power, a force unlike anything they had encountered before. "Activate the unlocking sequence," he commanded. Rex's hands flew over his interface device, bypassing several ancient security protocols. The containment unit trembled as the doors began to slide open. A soft, low hum filled the air, vibrating through their bones. As the door fully opened, a blinding light poured out, momentarily blinding the squad. Then, from the shadows within the chamber, a figure stirred. The warden. At first, it appeared to be nothing more than a shadow, an indistinct shape in the light. But as it fully emerged, its true form became clear. It was a towering figure, its body composed of shifting, ethereal energy, crackling with power. Its eyes, glowing with an ancient fire, locked onto the squad with terrifying focus. Eric's froze. The squad remained silent, each member recognizing, in that moment, that they had made a catastrophic mistake. The warden was not a mere relic to be studied. It was not an artifact. It was alive, and it was not pleased. A low rumble filled the vault, and suddenly, the walls seemed to come alive, pulsating with energy. The very air began to distort, becoming thick and oppressive. "We've made a mistake," Nix whispered, his voice tight with fear. Eric didn't need to say anything. He could feel it in the air. The presence of something ancient, powerful, and beyond their understanding. They had awakened something that had been buried for a reason. Before Eric could give an order, the warden moved. The ground beneath their feet cracked open, sending them sprawling. Talon's explosives and weapons had no effect. The warden moved with a speed that defied reason, its form shifting and flickering, its power radiating out in all directions. The walls of the vault seemed to buckle and warp as it moved, reshaping reality itself. The squad opened fire, but their weapons barely made a dent. The warden's glowing eyes locked onto Eric's, and for a moment, time seemed to slow. It was not just a being of flesh and energy. It was a force, a cosmic judgment upon all who dared disturb the sanctity of Earth. The warden was Earth's last defense, and the Xerex had just awakened it. The warden's roar shook the very foundation of Vault 47, reverberating through the steel corridors powers like the voice of the Earth itself. Every member of the Xerix squad felt it in their bones. The overwhelming presence of the being that had been locked away for millennia. The vault's walls seemed to ripple with energy as the warden's form pulsed with ethereal power. It was a being of pure force, a protector bound to Earth with a mandate that stretched beyond the comprehension of even the most seasoned conquerors. Fall back. Now, Eric shouted, his voice cutting through the chaos. The squad didn't hesitate. They had come prepared for a challenge, but nothing in their vast arsenal of weapons had prepared them for this ancient, living sentinel. The warden's eyes burned through the darkness, unblinking. Its gaze fixated on Eric's with an intensity that felt like an eternity passing in an instant. But even the most skilled Xerix warriors could not outrun the storm they had unleashed. Vaughn was the first to react, pivoting quickly and opening fire with his pulse cannon. The weapon discharged with a deafening roar, sending a concentrated burst of energy toward the warden. But as the shot reached its target, the warden shifted, its form warping like smoke, and the energy passed right through it, harmlessly dissipating into the air. It's immune to our weapons, Varn shouted, backing away, his face a mask of disbelief. Keep your distance, Eric's ordered, already formulating a new plan. His mind raced, analyzing their options, but the odds seemed insurmountable. The warden was not just an opponent. It was an elemental force of nature, a manifestation of Earth's defense mechanisms. Nothing the squad had brought with them would be enough. Rex, at the rear, was frantically typing commands into his interface device, his brow furrowed in concentration. I can't override the vault security systems, he muttered under his breath, more to himself than anyone else. It's all tied to the warden's control. We're trapped in here. Talon, ever the realist, turned to Eric's with a steely resolve. We need to escape, Commander. Now. We're not going to win this fight. Eric's gaze remained fixed on the warden as it loomed over them, its glowing eyes burning brighter with each passing second. He could feel it, the weight of an ancient, unstoppable power bearing down on them. But he wasn't one to surrender easily. No, Eric's growled, gripping his weapon tighter. We fight. We adapt. We destroy. With a sharp command, he signaled to the team. The squad spread out, taking strategic positions to launch a coordinated assault. They knew they had little chance against the warden in direct combat, but the Xerix were nothing if not resilient. They were an adaptive species, capable of bending any situation to their will. At least, that was the belief Eric's held. As they repositioned, the warden moved again, its form blurring, bending the very space around it.